activate. Is that it?
Well, hello there. It's me, Gazbot. I have a mess behind me because I've been setting up Christmas. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here for Action Activate to talk about things with this person who's always with me.
It is I. It is the big dog. I realized that you couldn't see me looking at a ranger off screen, but now you can. We are here not to talk about, ourselves. We're here to talk about
a little bit ourselves.
A little bit. We're here to specifically talk about the Psycho Menace, the newest episode from Unworthy Productions. And let me tell you, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, but spoiler alert, it was great.
What?
Spoiler alert, it was great.
Okay. This is spoiler-free, but also we have not spoken about it at all.
Correct.
It came out today, the 28th, Tuesday. And we even just talked for a half hour and didn't even say, what did you think? Or do you want nothing? I also thought it was great.
Yes.
So thanks. That's it for the spoiler review.
YouTube short. Here you go. No. So this is something that 4 months back, the trailer was released. We had heard that this was on the slate from Unworthy Productions.
We heard about this even before the trailer. Like, we've known this was coming for a while.
Yeah. I'm going reverse chronologically. I'm starting at the present and working my way back. Right. So after episode, I believe it was 4 or 5 of Unworthy, they said, hey, some other stuff's coming out before the next episode. Because
isn't 5 the next one?
Probably. That's why I said 4 or 5.
Okay.
The fact that I don't know 100% means if I put something ambiguous, either one could be right.
Right. Okay.
But so they told us a while back that before that episode, which is going to be super duper awesome, that there was going to be, I believe, Ninjor's Oath. Mm-hmm. I think the last Ninjetti was one that was like a Patreon exclusive, and now this. And let me tell you, we have reviewed a lot of independent fan films and fan series on this channel.
There's some that we haven't done, too, by the way. If there's some you think we should do, let us know.
Yeah, because maybe we don't know about them, but we'll watch them. The one thing that Unworthy does consistently that I appreciate is they go, hey, something's going to come out. Give us time. It's going to be worth the wait. And you go, okay. And you wait and you wait and wait. And yesterday we talked about, reviewing it this week, taking a breather from Cosmic Fury. And we said, should we do a live reaction? How long is it going to be? Maybe we watch it before. I don't know. A full-blown 30-minute episode. 30 minutes.
This is, again, we don't want to get into spoiler territory, but this is what I'll say. If you haven't watched any of the Unworthy stuff or any of the Crimson Vision and Nerdbot, there's a lot of intertwining stuff. Well, no, that's not what I'm going to say. Yes, watch it. It's worth watching. It's good stuff. But kind of the opposite. This is a good jumping on point. This is like when Spider-Man's been out for 10 years, but they're like, oh, issue 500 is a good jumping on point. Because I hadn't watched a lot of those since we reviewed them. It's been a while. And I was like, oh, should I go back and rewatch them? But I don't really have time right now. And my thought was, because I watched this earlier today, I was going to watch it. And if I was like, oh, I forget all this stuff, then I would go and watch and do my homework again. No, it does tie into the larger universe, but in such a way, it reminds you of when there's like an event comic or something like that, or a Marvel movie where you can watch Doctor Strange, even if you haven't watched all the Avengers movies, and it still makes sense.
Yeah.
It ties in, that's how this is to me in a good way. If you haven't watched any of that stuff and you just know Power Rangers, you could watch this beginning to end. At the end, the very end, it ties in where you might be like, what was that about? But that's just to get you to continue on. But you go ahead.
I think a better analogy is if you watch one of the animated Spider-Verse movies or the most recent Spider-Man No Way Home. If you've seen Nothing before that, and just no Spider-Man, you'd be like, wow, this is cool. So much stuff is going on. But if you've seen anything before then, you go, oh my gosh, did you hear that person's voice? That's so-and-so. Yeah. Did you see that soon? Oh, I can't believe it. Ah! And that's how I felt when I was watching this by myself.
Yes. Well, no, and I don't disagree that you get more out of it. And when I watched
Stop disagreeing with me, guys.
I heard Sylvester Stallone. That's the No, but I'm trying to say, for anyone that doesn't watch fan films, for anyone that hasn't seen these, you could just watch this and you won't be like, what's going on? Because it sets it up like a minute after present day being the in-space era, you know, and then it's like 25 years later. So it's like, okay, you know, Power Rangers, you've seen Mighty Morphin. If you see Mighty Morphin and in space, that's really all you need to know going into this. Anything above that, yes, you get more delicious Easter eggs and things.
If you know that those exist, you'll still enjoy this.
Yeah. It's and they did get a lot of. They got Christopher Kamen-Lee to do his voice. They got Patrick David to do his voice, the Psycho Red and Andros, respectively. And the one that surprised me, Gosei.
Yeah.
Gosei. Is it Jeff Dolan or Jeffrey Dolan? Jeffrey Dolan.
Either or, depending on the day.
Who we interviewed a while back. Well, we've interviewed all three of those, actually. That's funny.
So hang on. Yeah. You're mild spoiler territory.
Am I?
You're talking about characters that are...
Oh, well, I guess I thought they were in the trailer. Okay, I'm getting into mild spoiler territory. I was thinking about the actors, not the characters, but I will stop there.
Either way, if you're watching this and not watching that, I don't know why you're wasting your time with us. Right. Go watch that and then come back if you're generous.
I guess I'm trying to remember how much was revealed in the trailer because certain characters...
Nothing is revealed in the trailer other than like two things.
Right. Okay. How do we continue with this without more spoilers then?
So what I will say is obviously we enjoyed it. Yeah. That's why we're doing two. We're doing the spoiler free for those that care. If you are watching this and forgot it came out or didn't know it came out, and then you hop back and then you look in the future when we post our spoiler review and you go, I didn't notice that thing that you pointed out. That's great. But really, this was a great piece of Power Ranger content, first of all, but also you and I are big fans of other big major named properties, and Christopher Kamen-Lee has gone out and said Power Rangers in Space is basically Star Wars. And again, keeping everything spoiler free, they leaned into those feelings hard in this in the best way.
Yes. And I think I said that when we watched the trailer, actually.
Yes.
And more so because there's definitely homage, there's definitely, tribute, there's definitely influence. But sometimes when people do that, and I'm not talking about this production, but sometimes when people do that in any capacity, there's always like, is that an homage or are they ripping them off? Are they doing this because they're emulating something they love, or do they think they're getting away with it? The way they do it and certain specific things that are done in this thing make it clear they know what they're doing. They know you know what they're doing, and that's fine. And that, so it's cool either way, but it's good to know they're like, no. We know Star Wars. Yes, we love this. Okay, Star Wars, right? We all know that, and so that makes it fine. I mean,
this is such, to me at least, it was such a love letter to someone who grew up with some form of Power Rangers, and as they've gotten old, like this to me is for people, and this for the most part is a PG-13. It probably PG-13.
I don't know what the difference between PG-13 and R is.
You get one F-bomb in PG-13.
Okay, well, there's no nudity. And is there much cursing? I don't remember any cursing.
There's one or two, but that's why I said, I think it's PG-13. Like, it's not Deadpool level, right? But it's not, on Nickelodeon.
Okay, you're probably right. It probably is PG-13.
Yeah. To me, this was for 20 to 30-somethings that grew up with it, or everybody else who just likes Power Rangers and is a legal adult.
Because there's an argument that can be made, going back to what I said originally, that even ideally you know everything. Second, you're a fan of Power Rangers, in Space and Mighty Morphin. You don't really need to know Mighty Morphin, but if you don't know any of that and you just like cool sci-fi stuff or whatever, just like a cool movie. It's the only thing, if you don't know anything, the ending might leave you a little flat because
you're confused by it, and it seems like it's out of left field if it
right, and it's not a complete resolution. It it does lead to further story. It's sort of an end of this chapter, but if you're just looking for a self-contained, and it almost is a self-contained film, it almost is until that last little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I'll put an asterisk at this because I would like to, if I was going to say this definitively, I'd want to rewatch a couple other films. But I like 75-80% feel that in terms of production, in terms of special effects, camera work, just straight nuts and bolts production, the way it looks and feels, forgetting about story, acting, anything else, I feel like this is the best one we've ever seen.
Possibly, yeah. I know for me, I want to say it was either, it could have been episode 3 or 4 of Unworthy, the proper series, quote unquote, where I probably have said things like that. But the thing that this proves is they are continuing to raise the bar. And
yes.
The other thing to keep in mind that I reminded myself 2 different times when I watched this is a work of love. This isn't officially licensed. This isn't got a huge, conglomerate behind it. This is people who love these properties that say, I want to make something just as good, if not better. And in my opinion, better than a lot of official Power Rangers, because
going back to, I'm not going to talk about actors, acting, story. Yeah. But in terms of production of just how it looked and how it felt.
Yes.
This was light years above like Once and Always, for example.
Yeah.
Like
in
just
a lot of ways,
terms of how it looked and how it played out, it was just better. I mean, the CGI was better, the camera work was better, just like everything production wise was better. And now I'm not going to say that, oh well, screw the nostalgia, this is better. Like I'm not getting into that comparison.
Yeah.
But just in terms of like nuts and bolts, craftsmanship, workmanship of how you put together a visual medium like this, it was better.
To me, this is kind of the, like, Once and Always obviously was something for, day one-ish Power Ranger fans. And the difference between that and this, because they even acknowledge this is a 25th anniversary of In Space.
Yes. Yeah.
The difference between the two is there were 2 people running it who either are or seem passionate about the property. Right. And one of them had to answer to a board and the other one didn't. And that's the difference.
And it's also because budget. Because like, I don't know what the budget was for
this. Was cheaper than Once and Always. I'll tell you that right now.
I was gonna say. I know they do Patreons and Kickstarters and they have donations and however much money they put in and however much money they get back from YouTube and stuff. But I know they're not making a huge profit on this.
Yeah.
But like, I'm making up numbers. I don't know their books at all. Let's say they had $1 million.
We don't even know numbers. We don't know all the numbers.
This is me making up stuff super clearly. If they had $1 million to make this, and I don't know if they had that much even, it's amazing for having done it for that much money. Yeah. Now, the reason I picked $1 million, I don't know that they have $1 million. They probably don't, but I'm just saying that because I know for a fact that Once and Always had at least $1 million.
Yeah.
Probably a lot more. Yeah. And so it's, it's not just a money thing. I mean, it's there is some amount of oversight that is keeping things done because they have to get it done today or because you have to make a certain thing, whatever. So you can't always just throw money at something and make it better.
Yeah, this is a prime example that I would show people of, oh, well, like, for example, a lot of recent Marvel films or TV shows, people say, oh, that CGI looked cheap. Oh, this wasn't good, even though it cost $200 million or whatever. Right. It's not, like you said, just hammering it home. It's not a money thing. If you do something right, it doesn't matter the budget, it will be good. The camera angle on certain shots in this, when it's just a person in a place, is just solid. It's just great. You use all of these
the hallway or what? Yeah, the editing, it's the classic Jaws thing too. Of like the shark didn't work, so they cut around it and it worked better. Or the first Alien where they barely show it. Like you can. Yeah, I mean, obviously you need some amount of money to make it happen, but
one thing on that same point that I want to say, kind of in the inverse, the costumes looked phenomenal.
Yes.
So good. Choreography, awesome. Loved it.
Great. Costumes look good. They in the past they talked about having one Psycho suit that they would like recolor with chroma key and stuff. They have at least 3 now, I think.
I think that was for Nerdbot / Anime Fire. I don't think that was for
suit from them.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, however many suits they used to have, they clearly have 3 at least now. Put it that way.
Well, no, at least 3.
I think green was chroma key because they had gold and red and the Empress, who I think is she purple. I was having a hard time.
Purple or blue. I couldn't totally tell either.
Yeah. I guess I also assume purple because we've already seen blue, so they want something different. But I could nitpick, but I won't. Okay, go ahead.
The suits were great. Even there are, I believe we see them in the trailer. They have the souped up. What are the cronies in space called?
Cog? No, not cogs.
No. Quantrons?
That sounds right.
I don't remember if Quantrons are from... Oh, no, yes. It is Quantrons, Ninja Steel point for me, and Piranatrons was Turbo. That's the difference. Yeah. So they have, like, new...
the aquatic theme and all that. So yeah,
they have, like, dark Quantrons. Those look great. Clearly an homage to something else. And if you look at their blasters, you're like, those are cool. Those are Nerf guns that are just painted really well. And I loved that.
I will tell you, that's a good touch. I will say something else that I like. I think I can say this without being a spoiler. There are human soldiers,
yes,
at some point that have armor.
Yep,
and that armor looks very similar to Starship Troopers, which was a movie in the '90s, because that armor was used in Lost Galaxy.
Yep.
Now I don't know where they got the armor or whatever, but like it had to be on purpose that it was that similar kind of style, and I thought that was really cool. Also,
costumes, the humans that we see in the trailer that are gonna morph, we find out more about them in this. Those civilian suits even look great. They didn't look thrown together. They looked purposeful. No, they looked awesome.
They look like they could have been from Terra Venture or SPD or some, like the better civilian
suits. It looked like the Terra Venture one's based on the logo here. It was like a mixed match of both.
Yeah. There was again, getting into spoilers. Okay. There was a lot of quotable lines.
Yes.
That were throwbacks to Power Rangers and to other things.
Yep.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think we are just chomping at the bit to talk spoilers. So let's
go see it. If you have the time to watch all the back stuff before it, do. If not, watch this, and then you'll want to watch the other stuff.
Yeah, it is so good. Hats off to the team. We're going to talk more about this in our spoiler review. But until we do...
Also, wait, before we do that, ending theme song, ATO Worldwide.
Hey, shout out. ATO. Yeah. Another great one. Music in this. We didn't even touch on music because we're trying so hard not to spoil things. Music was awesome.
That's not a spoiler.
I know. Okay. But me reserving myself is just me forgetting things.
I've been Gazbot. Who are you?
I am the big dog, I think. I hope.
Okay. Goodbye.
To the power. Cut these credits. Get them out of here. Let's just start talking about this.
Okay. So.
Get out of here.
Okay, we're done. Go watch the other one if you want to hear our spoiler.